Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. So, in my previous episode, I had talked about the possibility that the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, could introduce Wagner in direct action missions inside of the former state of Ethiopia. So, we know currently there are Russian contractors inside of the former state of Ethiopia. These contractors right now are providing, as far as we know, non-kinetic advisory type of missions. And that really is centered on contract work in terms of equipment upkeep, especially some of the self-propelled artillery assets and other equipment that exists inside of the Ethiopian National Defense Forces. Now, could we possibly see that transition to a more active component of Wagner operating directly in support of the Abiy Ahmed regime? While unlikely, it is possible. And with that being said, I wanted to kind of delve into what that would look like. What resources could Wagner provide the Ethiopian National Defense Forces, the Ethiopian intelligence agencies, that could possibly alter the outcome of the conflict? Not to say it would alter the outcome of the conflict, but depending on the magnitude of the intervention, what could they possibly do? Now, the most obvious deployment that we could possibly see that would significantly be felt almost immediately would be two things. First, the introduction of small special operations teams of 5 to 10 individuals, highly trained former Spetsnaz operatives operating in the form of utilizing some more advanced equipment such as laser designators and some more advanced thermal imaging optics that these teams would deploy in conjunction with Air Force assets such as Su-25 Frogfoot modernized versions that are able to launch laser-guided strikes, Su-24 modernized versions, and then quite possibly even Su-34s as well. So these aircraft do have the ability to drop a GLONASS or a GPS guided precision bomb, or have a special operations team utilizing a laser designator to designate targets of opportunity. Now, with that being said, if those sorts of assets were introduced on a fairly significant scale, and what I mean fairly significant scale would be a dozen or more Su-25s modernized, Su-24 modernized, in conjunction with some of those ground assets of some of those former Spetsnaz operators guiding in those munitions, that would be felt right away, and it would be a significant impact, because right now the Ethiopian National Defense Forces does not possess that sort of capability. They do not have special operations forces on the ground with laser designators. From what we've seen, we have not seen a significant amount of thermal imaging optics being utilized in conjunction with direct air support on the ground. So these special operations teams operating with direct air support, okay, not sporadic airstrikes on possibly known positions, but these are relatively modernized aircraft working in conjunction with operators on the ground. And again, these are highly trained, highly skilled operators that have probably seen action in Syria, Libya, and who knows elsewhere. But again, that sort of deployment would definitely cause issue for any kind of further advances by the Tigrayan Defense Forces. Now, the scale of the conflict, is probably greater than what we're seeing in Syria right now in terms of the movement of forces, especially the sheer amounts of manpower that the Tigrayan Defense Forces are pressing down the A2 and B21 highways. So again, we're seeing significant amounts of manpower. Now, with that being said, unfortunately, the Tigrayan Defense Forces have not yet had to deal with that sort of adversary. And when I mean that sort of adversary, I mean a highly capable, modernized special operations group that has full air support with GPS guided bombs, laser guided bombs, and other assets as well. And that is a known qualitative addition that Wagner could provide. Again, it's a very unique skill set. It's not like a normal private military contractor. Wagner is directly supported by the Russian Federation, by the Russian government. You have former Air Force pilots operating some of the most advanced aircraft inside of the Russian Federation that have been provided to Wagner, working in a plausible deniability role, in which the reality is it is the Russian state, but the Russian state acting as a private concern. But that private concern obviously has the same political goals and military goals as the Russian Federation. So again, if we were to see Wagner deploy special operations teams on the ground in conjunction with some of the more modernized aircraft, again, the Su-25Ms, the updated Su-24s that have the ability to drop GPS guided munitions or GLONASS guided munitions, then obviously that would be a significant that would have a significant impact on the current conflict, and they would have to be deployed in numbers where you could see consistent daily sorties by these aircraft and have enough personnel on the ground to have continued operations of these special operations teams on the ground in a direct action role. That would have a pronounced impact on the conflict itself. So, but again, we're not there yet. Again, we're talking in the hypothetical sphere. There's reasons why the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, may want to enter into this conflict, and then obviously there's also the issue with Russia being preoccupied in other areas and simply may not have the assets to effectively intervene in this conflict in any meaningful way. But again, we know Russian contractors are on the ground assisting with equipment upkeep. Now, with that being said, could that change? And is there a possibility that they could directly alter the outcome? Yes, it is possible, although unlikely. But again, we'll keep our eye on the situation and report as events warrant. Have a great day, everybody.